Welcome to episode 52 of the Delta Panthers Pod. I'm Mark Cantor, and winter sports practices started this week, so we'll have some of that to talk about next week. This week, though, let's wrap up the football season with an interview with head coach Jesse Kindig following the 28-7 loss at Brush that ended the season. Jesse, you guys had an incredible first quarter against Brush. The defense was playing out of their minds. 3 turnovers, the offense not able to capitalize on every one of them, but we put a touchdown on the board. It seemed like things were really going our way. Brush scored, and then they kicked off into the wind, and they recovered that almost like an onside kick, and that kind of seemed like the turning point in the game. What were your thoughts at that point?
It absolutely was the turning point. We had all the moment, not all the momentum. They had gone down and scored, and we knew that they were going to get theirs. But it's a tough one. It's a frustrating one because we did talk about pregame, like, hey, you guys need to put your feet at 20, and you need to align to this, and we didn't. They're kids, they're teenagers, but in those kinds of situations, when you discuss these things, you kind of need them to be done, and it didn't, and it came back to bite us in the butt. And they knew exactly what they were doing. That ball went straight up and straight down, and just unfortunate. And then when you give a team like that, the 30-yard line, and you're almost giving them points. So yeah,
and you and I were talking here before the interview, and they're big up front. Yeah. Which we've obviously lacked all year. We don't have that size. We also didn't have the experience, so to speak. But games are won in the trenches. They're won on that line of scrimmage. I say it all the time. How do you adapt to not having size?
Yeah, you got to do it with speed and execution, and we lacked in that as well. They were obviously bigger than us. They pursued the ball a little bit faster than I thought for their size. They ran quickly. So we're going to have the same conversations this year and the following year. And that comes with just repetition. That comes with blocking on the perimeter, which we didn't do very well. And we just as a whole have to find a way. We have to find that identity. When we're winning games, we're very much a take what you give us team. So that's why we see Sheena with 4 touchdowns one game and then no catches the next. We definitely offensively need to find an identity, and that's me. We have to find an identity of what we want to do and stick to it and run it very well, very much a basalt kind of feel where they just do what they do and they do it well, and we need to do the same thing. And because we're not going to be able to just jam it down people's throat, and we're not going to be able to just throw it 100 times. We've got to find that even mix.
You were on the field and got to see Brush's Richie Bruno up close. How good of a player is he? He
changed their everything that they do. They felt defensively they could keep him in the box and let everybody else run around, and he owned that box. Offensively, they knew if they needed 2 yards, they could get 2 yards. He was the one that kept fumbling it early on, but I think that's more of us just kind of had him off guard a little bit, and then he hadn't played in 3 weeks. So I felt very much as the game went on, he got much better, and he took over. And I think we were talking just a minute ago, I think that can easily be a Mac Lockhart in a few years. But not taking away from Bruno, he's a great athlete, and he definitely took that game over.
So now we move ahead. We move on. Taking a look at next year, your second year in a row, and you are having to find a new QB1. Cole Moreland was the backup this year. Obviously, I'm sure he's in line for that spot. Is there anybody else you're looking at?
We'll always we're always going to do what's best for the team. And in fact, you brought it up. Mac and I had a great conversation today. I think he's still very interested in trying out for that quarterback position. But what a great young man he is as a freshman. I want to say he's 15. And the second sentence out of his mouth was, "But I just want to win. So I want to go wherever we're going to win the most games. So if that's at quarterback or if that's at running back, if that's at tight end, I want to go where we want to win." And I think that shows great maturity, great leadership, great just mindset for the team. But we'll always go with what's best. So we'll give Cole his shot, and if Mac wants his shot and we think we're going to win more games with Mac, we'll go with Mac. If we think we're going to win more games with Cole, we'll go with Cole. But that's always been the Panther way, and I'm not going to change that.
So we'll be replacing a lot on the offensive and defensive lines, as well as wide receiver and the defensive backfield. I think linebackers are pretty well set. Good. So, I think they'll have their driver's license by the time we kick off the season next year. Who else is coming up that you kind of have your eye on?
We've got our smaller levels did a great job. So like a Connor Tregarthen hopefully can step into a role. He's a young kid that can play a tackle for us on offense. You're gonna see some sophomores on the field. This freshman group is a good group. It's not just Mac, where we got high praise for a Hayden Quintero that might have to replace like an Alonzo kind of on defense, kind of a hybrid kid. A Mason Regal, who's another freshman who's going to probably have to play some guard. And Jor's got some experience on the O-line. He's now going to have to mature and grow into that D-line as well, a two-way starter. But, the biggest question mark, which hasn't been a question mark since I've started, is the receivers. And, you've got a Lane Sanchez and a Jerry Ryan and here I go. We got Little Hewlett and we just got a lot of unproven cats that are going to have to put in a lot of time, which I know they want to, and so does Cole and so does Mac, and they'll put in a lot of time, and we'll hopefully find that identity with what they can do, and we can build off that.
And I think you said it right there, build. It still, obviously, we're in rebuilding mode, and we probably will be for next year, maybe two. But once we get to that point where the rebuild, where instead of rebuilding, we're reloading, I think we will definitely see the payoff.
Yeah, and I think the message I sent to the guys today was, for the last couple of years, I could admit I was more of running the Coach Johnson's ship and just making sure it stayed afloat. And now in year 3, I need to make this ship my own, and it needs to have my flavor, and it needs to, if this thing's going to withstand and not rebuild every year, we've got to make it our own and make it the Kendig way, not the Johnson way. And I think we can do that and keep the traditions that Coach Jay brought in, because gosh, he did such a great job. So we're in year 3 now that are going to have to build on that and hopefully sustain. And that's what we want. We want that program to just reload like we did for the last 13 years, hopefully for another 13 more. So,
well, I want to thank you for you being open with me and giving me the access you have. It makes my job covering the team a heck of a lot easier. And wasn't really the way we wanted the season to end or when we wanted to end, but I look forward to covering you guys in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate all you do, too. Thanks for the coverage, and thanks for giving the kids a spotlight that they don't always get. They get, between you and Jim Davis and all that media, they get a lot of love, so we appreciate what you do.
Okay, thank you. The Delta Panthers speech and debate team season continued yesterday, with the team finishing with the highest number of participants placing. Gabby Gallenbeck took second, Lucas Trevino fifth, and Seth Dominguez sixth in extemp. Madison Whitaker and Abe Hickson took second in duo value. Michaela Brennan was first, Alex Burris second, and Stella Bubbins-Hill tied for third with Tegan Wells in Congress. Shelby Pride took first, and Celeste Raymond fourth in drama. Anna Jones finished first, and Portia Trianto second in humor. Emily Schaff took fifth in impromptu. Jasmine Sines fourth, and Ariana Raymond fifth in poetry. Gabby Gallenbeck was first in informative. Leah Esser took fifth, and Abe Hickson sixth in LD. Shelby Pride was third, Harper Whithouse fifth, and Jasmine Sines sixth in POI. Alex Burris and Stella Bubbins-Hill finished second, and Madison Whitaker and Michaela Brennan third in PF. Gabby Gallenbeck was sixth in BX. Alex Burris, Landon Redlinger, and Stella Bubbins-Hill took first, and Ada Lebsack, Emily Schaff, Matthew Bear, and Emma St. Clair fourth in Worlds. This week's Student Spotlight is on 4 members of the Delta JROTC Battalion. We'll start off just everybody introducing themselves and talking a little bit about what you do with JROTC. So, go ahead.
I'm James Allayer, and I help overlook our Bravo company class. I also help out with color guard stuff and helping that get prepared and helping cadets get trained for that.
Okay, very good. Very good. Eric.
All right. So my name is Eric Uribe. I'm the JOTC Battalion Commander. I oversee all companies, my staff. Pretty much I'm the face of the program this year.
So, the man in charge.
The man in charge.
Pretty good.
I'm Max and Luna. I'm only a Let 2, so I'm not really responsible for anything except for doing gates, taking on the flag, flags on main, and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Kind of like the grunt work, for lack of a better term.
Right, yeah.
Hey.
My name is Hayden Perella, and I'm the Battalion S5, so the Public Relations and Communications Officer. And basically, as part of staff, I'm in charge of all of the events that JOTC runs, helping with that. But my position in specific, I'm in charge of marketing materials, social media, communications, all of that.
So all the posts that are made on Facebook, you take care of that?
Yes.
Very good. And as other social media as well, I'm sure.
Yes.
So recently you guys had a triennial inspection, and if one of you can explain what that is, and you guys scored a 99% on it, which obviously is really good. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and explain what that inspection entails, and what you guys had to do to prepare for it, and how you reached that 99%.
Right. So like the triannual inspection is from these like district Army instructors who come from like the main brigade. So this time it was like 2 people from Denver. They came down and they had to score us on our color guard performance, our drill, our service learning project. Marching is one of them, that's true. And then the CIP, the continuous improvement plan. Okay. So we had to brief them. They had to oversee, like they saw us march, they saw the cadets march, they saw our color guard do their regime, and then other than that, I think that's all that they scored us for.
Okay. And to get a 99%, you guys had to be spot on, pretty much top notch.
Yeah.
Tight ship type thing.
Pretty much so, yeah.
Talked about the color guard. Joe, you are in, it sounds like, in charge of organizing that, making sure they're all kind of, and you do the color guard as well, right? You carry the flags as well. Talk about a little bit about that, and what that means to you to be part of the color guard.
It means a lot that I get to help out with it and help be in charge of it. With the cadets, all of them are helpful with that, and me and my co-commander really, we had our we're having our final for it, which is a progression plan, and we got that done in like the week that we were told that we had to do it, and we were just the 2 that typed it out.
It sounds like it's a pretty pretty big responsibility, and I imagine you're pretty proud to have that responsibility as well.
Because I have to help with communication with the people that asked us to do the color guard. Like, for one that we had last year was the one we had at State Farm for, what was it, Flag Day? I think?
Flag Day.
Yeah. And I had to communicate a lot with the person that had asked us if we can do a color guard. So it's those, like, I have to help communicate with some of the color guards that they ask us to do.
Okay. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of coordination involved in that.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big responsibility. So, Max, talk about what you do. You touched on it a little bit, but kind of being low man on the totem pole, if you will, kind of a lower rank. Talk about that, and how you plan to kind of work your way up, if that's something you have aspirations of doing.
Right, yeah. It's just, I like to, sometimes help a bit, and, I really enjoy ROTC sometimes, so, being able to do this stuff really means to me, and I hope in the future that all this, work and stuff will probably have me rank up later on, but...
Very good. Can you talk a little bit more about your responsibilities and what goes into the media aspect and the promotional aspect, if you will, of JROTC?
So my biggest job up to date right now would be the continuous improvement plan that we did for the inspection. And as S5, some of the stuff that I was in charge of, first of all, was like the overseeing of the entire project. So all of the data collection was something that I would do. But something that relates a little bit more to my job as like, marketing manager type thing is that for our continuous improvement plan, we set out to improve civics knowledge within our battalion. And so part of that was that I would have to send out marketing material and then look at that before posting it. Anything that related to the quizzes, I would have to, post that in advance. And yeah, just a lot of communication when it came to that continuous improvement plan so that we would be ready to brief it when the inspection did come.
Very good. So what some people may not realize or understand is JROTC, obviously an extracurricular activity, but you guys actually meet during school and have like classroom time.
Yes.
During that. Talk a little bit explain a little bit what happens during that classroom time so people have a better understanding of what you guys do during school.
Right. So, like for our staff class, for example, we mainly prioritize in all the projects we have upcoming. Like, I guess for this upcoming year, like we're transitioning to like more winter events. We have our ball, other graduation for the TCR. We like to help out with color guard and also other cadets like with ushering. The military ball is a big one. Graduation, we help out with that. Pretty much any events that's associated to the school or any like branching out like the technical college, we help out with that as well. And any community involvement too. Like the Giving Tree, we like to do a fundraiser in December where we try to get as many toys and collect like items for the people who need it and who can't be there for like a good Christmas. But we do a lot of the selfless service act in the community. So that's what we mainly prioritize within these classes.
Good. So, and you guys do daily briefings and stuff like that. Yes. Similar to what the military would do.
Right.
You guys all have military aspirations? Is that all something you guys are wanting to get into? Or, because JROTC, obviously a good way to kind of get into that. Not necessarily the reason for it, but is that something you guys have aspirations of?
Not for me.
No?
Yeah, personally, I don't really want to go into the military.
Okay.
I just feel like it's a second option if nothing works out. But yeah.
Right, for sure.
Very good.
That was... I wanted to do it for a long time, but then looking on my options, I was like, I agree with Mac. It's a good second option.
Okay. Very good. And perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
You mentioned the military ball. Talk a little bit more about that and what goes into the planning of that.
So the planning of the military ball. So we do it every year around March, where we invite anyone who helps out and supports our program. So like the police, the sheriff's office, the city. We ask like specific parents who help out behind the scenes. Any of like big donors who help us out. A lot of representation with the school board, the district. Our principals, etc. A lot of the planning is that we follow a script. It's, we eat a dinner, a nice formal dinner, and then we have speaking parts within it. Last year we had Nate Gray come by. This year as our guest speaker, we don't know yet, but we're excited to see who it will be.
Still in the planning stages. The initial planning stages. Very good.
Exactly.
Very good. I appreciate y'all talking to me today. It's been fun getting to know you guys a little bit better. And I wish you luck in the future, and hopefully we talk again down the road. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Announcements now. Congratulations to this month's Students of the Month: Cole Bush, Faith Walters, Enzo Sanchez, Lily Gallegos, Alexis Lind, Kenny Gonzalez, David Gonzalez, and Irma Bloom. Also, congrats to Delta Panthers cheer as they were crowned regional champions at the Western Colorado Spirit Championships last weekend. It's a great accomplishment for a team in only their second year. Finally, the school will be closed on break this coming week for Thanksgiving. Please have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. That about covers it for this week. The Delta Panthers Pod is a presentation of Mad Canner Productions and sponsored by Elevate, A&M Creations, Americar Auto Parts, Delta Ace Hardware, Delta Cabinet Company, Delta County School District, Vista Ford Toyota Delta, Jerry Ryer State Farm Insurance, Quickie Tire Service, Taco Time, The Sunflower Room, and Yost Family Dentistry. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you all next week.